This is a question that I get asked a lot. And so I wanted to take a couple minutes and make this video on how to cut an object so that you can print it in multiple parts. So for this video, I'm hoping we can take something that looks like this sitting outside of the plate and turn it into something like this. Jumping right into this, I have got my sculpture here. I need to cut this into 3 parts. So I'm going to perform a vertical cut here and a vertical cut here. Now these cuts are going to have a dowel placed in them so that I can align them later. And if you stick around to the end, I'm going to show you some print settings that'll really help make sure that your parts go back together really easy. So step 1, let's cut this into 2 parts. So I'm going to quickly select my object and I'm going to hold shift and left click and drag it down here. This will be important in just a second. The next step is, again, selecting the object. We're going to come up to cut and perform a very basic cut. Now, something to keep in mind is it's very important that we align these axes up as perfect as we can. So something like this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this and adjust this so that we have a vertical cut, and hopefully it snaps in at 90. Sometimes it gives you a little bit of a fit, and you have to try the other side at 270. Still not quite giving it to me. Not perfect. So what I'm going to do is reset this. This happens quite often. Zoom in a little bit, and I'm going to try to get this even more square. And try it again. There, it snapped into 90. That's perfect. And so now what I can do is, using this handle here, I can slide this to where I want my cut to be performed, which is right about there. So now I've got where I want to cut. I'm going to add some connectors. And so what I'm going to use is a dowel, and these are going to be square. You have 2 options that I really look at, is the dowel or the plug. In this case, I want to use a dowel square. I want to make these 10 millimeters, and I want to make my offset about 0.25. I think the default is 0.10. I like to make these a little bit bigger. Just gives you some more room. All I'm using these for is alignment and not depth. And then the next one I'm going to choose is the size at 10 millimeters. So what we're going to do is rotate this, and I'm going to try to place this right here in the middle as close as I can. And if I don't like where I place it, I can click on it and drag it again. And so what I'll say next is confirm connections. So now I've got my connections and I can perform the cut. Now that the cut is done, you'll notice I have a dowel, I've got a part, and I've got another part. So I'm going to do one more cut just like that, really fast. Then we'll jump into printing this object. So making our next cut is pretty straightforward. I'm going to select our object here. I want to very quickly rotate that back to the orientation that I had it. Or actually, I can probably leave it like this and just do a simple, we'll leave it like this in this case. We'll zoom in, actually hold shift, right click, move it down out of the way, perform our cut. And in this case, it almost put it right where I wanted it, as long as I'm not cutting into this part here. I am going to pull it up just a little bit to be safe. Looks good right there. I'm going to hit add connectors. It's going to add the same connectors as before. I just need to place them. So we're going to just click here. That's not where I want that, but we'll move it and get it close. Somewhere right there. Confirm the connectors. And now we can perform the cut. And we're done. Okay, so let's zoom back into this really quick. Hold shift, move this back over here. And what we have now is all of our parts. They're kind of all stuck together. So what we're going to do is just add 2 plates, give us some room here, and we're going to arrange all of these objects. And it seems to think it can print it all in one plate. That's totally up to you if you want to do it that way. I don't think I would lean to do it that way, but if that's something you want to do, definitely look into that. So in this case, I am going to add another plate because I want to show you just some basic settings on this. So I'm going to select one of our objects, click off of everything, grab this one, drag this to this plate here. And so a couple basic settings. If you'll notice, I've got this here. There are 2 dowels sitting over here. But what I like to do is I want to make sure that this stays down on the print as best we can. So I'm going to go back to global, and I'm going to go to my others option here and come down and make sure we add a brim. So right now the brim's on auto. which basically means it's not going to print. And I'm going to add an outer brim only. And I'm going to, because this needs to fit perfect, I'm going to bump this up to 10. It might be overkill, but it's something that I really like to make sure that we do. I'm going to move this to the middle of the plate as best we can. I do like printing in the middle of my plates when I get a chance, which is why I will print each of these parts on their own plate. So then I'll hit slice. And there you have it. So here is the brim. This is ready to print. And this is what it looks like after printing and using the connectors and using some Bondo and putting it together. Let me know down in the comments if you have any questions or if I glossed over something or missed anything. Definitely can revisit this. Thanks for sticking around to the end. And if you found this helpful, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next time.